Hi, my name's Micha Jazz, and I'm seeking to live the God-filled life. When I was growing up, I remember my father saying to me, "Expect the unexpected." I didn't really understand what he was talking about at the time, but as the years have rolled on, I realized that no matter what our plans might be, we always have to be prepared for those to be interrupted by unexpected events. In this Christmas season, my mind moves to Mary, a young girl who was planning to get married with all the excitement of knowing her fiancé Joseph and looking forward, no doubt, to a wedding and then to family life. However, her life was interrupted by a strange angelic visitation when Gabriel came and visited her and gave her a storyline for her life which was completely unexpected. Whilst he encouraged her by saying, "Do not be afraid, Mary," in the midst of coming to peace, he delivered a message which was to completely blow her world apart. He invited her, a virgin, an unmarried woman, to accept the invitation from God to carry Jesus, who was to become the Saviour of the world. I can remember a few years ago, 1990, New Year's Eve, sitting in a consultant's surgery with my wife, Katie, listening to the devastating news that they had discovered that she had multiple sclerosis. We were silenced by the news, not really understanding what it meant, but feeling the weight of it, that somehow it was important. As we left the consultant's room, and over the days and weeks ahead, the immensity of the challenge that faced us began to settle upon us. This was not what we had planned for our lives, and yet we had to face this interruption, this unanticipated news landing on our doorstep. Now, maybe you might think we'd turn to prayer, call out to God who we knew, and find the way of walking comfortably with this experience. Well, let me tell you, we didn't. Not only was the news a shock and unanticipated, it completely blew our world apart for a while. We were reeling, unable to know how to reach out to God, take hold of God, and still remain sane. However, in those moments, over those weeks, the times when we drew aside with God, we realized we had a significant choice to make. Do we embrace God's promise that says He'll neither fail us nor forsake us? Or do we choose to throw God right out of the window and say, in our anger, our bitterness, our despair and our disappointment, I want nothing to do with a God who can bring this unexpectedly and unwelcome into my life? We chose to embrace God and begin a journey that was difficult, at times deeply painful and challenging, yet ultimately was a journey that led us closer and deeper into the very heart of God. Just over 4 years ago, Katie went to be with the Lord, the MS taking her life and demanding her to leave this earth and to leave me and to leave our marriage. And yet over the years we walked together, bittersweet memories, we discovered that God is in the very heart of the pain and the challenge. When Mary said yes, she can have little known that she would one day be standing in front of a cross, watching this son that she had carried on behalf of God, crucified and dying the gruesome death of a criminal. And yet she chose to trust God in that moment, having learnt to trust God at the very instant when Gabriel brought her the unexpected interruption to her life's plans. Now today I don't know where you're at or what is going on in your life. You may face excruciating decisions. You may have had unanticipated, unwelcome news break into your world and apparently rob you of the future you're dreamed of and imagined. All I can say to you is what God said to me. That is, God will neither fail us nor forsake us. And I say to you, God will neither fail you nor forsake you. And yet, the decision remains yours. Can you, with confidence, decide, without knowing what the future holds, decide to hold the hand of God and believe that He who has committed to you will lead you on and bring you to the place of peace and fullness, as is His promise. Thanks for being with us today. God bless and goodbye.